Hi there, and welcome to just a quick course intro video to Literacy Foundations Level 5 Hybrid. This is the book that you're going to be using, and we're going to go over that. So, I kind of want to start with just a little bit of a rationale of Literacy Foundations. I think that this has been built to serve two different types of students. So, number one, you might be a grad student, grade 10, 11, or 12, or older, and you are missing some of the foundational math concepts, tools to be successful in Workplace Math 10 and Workplace Math 11. Workplace Math 11 is the minimum math to graduate, and I teach that course, Workplace Math 11, and I teach Workplace Math 10. So I've kind of been the teacher that streams students towards getting Workplace Math 11 completed and then graduated. So I know the curriculum very well between Workplace Math 10 and Workplace Math 11. And I really feel like this is going to be a great book for students who need to catch up in their math and then jump into Workplace Math 10. So, the other group of students that take this, that can take this course, are students in potentially middle school who are already knowing that they want to go into workplace math 10. So in grade 7, 8, 9, there's no streams. It's just math 7, there's math 8, there's math 9. And because of that, there's no option for diversity. And so grade 9 math ends up being a really hard course because students learn a lot of different math, and not all of it is going to be used in Workplace Math 10. So, this is just a really great tool. Specifically, the author, Lori Beesting, she's got a pretty cool last name. She designed it for a very wide range of students. You can be down as far as grade 4 math level and still be able to use the book to slowly catch up. But it's definitely more so to do with middle school students who are just behind in their math, and it's a catch up. And I love that she's actually even written on it. It's a parent, you can see that, but it's a parent and student handbook. So it's not just for the student; it's also for the parents. And I'm going to do a little bit of a walkthrough in a bit, but they have a whole section in the introduction just on guidance for how to use and how to get started with it. And I'm really excited for you to be able to do that. If, as you can see, I'm screen sharing. I'm going to show you the actual course that you're going to be using. So I do want you to, purchase this book and work on it. But this is a hybrid course because you're also going to be using Moodle a bit. So on Moodle, you're going to be submitting your work, and some of the assessments are going to be there as well. So at the top, here is my contact information. So there's my email. You can reach me anytime, and I'll reply to you within the end of the next business day. So if you contact me throughout the week, I'll reply to you the next business day. If you message me on Friday, I try to keep my weekends just family time. So I may not get back to you until Monday. And then my Skype hours, these are actually changing. I just changed my Skype hours, but they will be here. So if you want the most updated Skype hours, they're actually Monday and Tuesday from 9 to 11 a.m. And then Thursday and Friday, 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. So morning hours, Monday, Tuesday, and then afternoon hours, Thursday, Friday. And the times are first come, first serve. There's no appointment needed. You just message me on Skype after you've added me, so you can add me on Skype first. And then please refrain from calling me just because I might already be in a Skype call with somebody. But if you do message me, I'll add you to a lineup. I just have a queue, and then I'll message you as soon as I can. And sometimes I'm free right away, so I can just, boom, get a hold of you. I already kind of talked about the course rationale, but you can just give that a read through. One thing I do kind of want to note is just the stream. So right now there's an online course for Literacy Foundations Level 5, and there's an online course for Literacy Foundations Level 6. But right now I only have a Literacy Foundations Level 5 hybrid course. So just quickly, let's take a look. This is the end goal, Workplace Math 11. The Workplace Math 11 is required for both a Dogwood, the 80 credit normal one, and the adult Dogwood. Um, if you're doing the adult Dogwood, you don't have to take Workplace Math 10. So anyway, Literacy Foundations Level 5 is the course that you're in the individualized hybrid version. And they are instead of taking Math 8 and 9. So Math 8 and 9 do not show up on a transcript. Only grade high school courses will. So these Literacy Foundations courses won't show up on your transcript either. They don't count for credit towards the transcript. But basically, they can lead into taking Workplace Math 10. And I actually think, I'll talk about this a little bit later, but I think that you can simply take this and a couple more resources and then go straight into Workplace Math 10. So it's a little bit maybe more bulky than my Literacy Foundations Math Level 5 online course, because I also teach that. So it's bulkier, but it only requires one course. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back. There is the introductory Skype meeting that is required. So I didn't mention that it was required, but I do want to meet with, if possible, with student, with parent, with support staff. If there's an SE teacher, or maybe there's an LS consultant, or maybe there's just an EA or a tutor, whoever is going to be helping the student through the course. I definitely would love to be able to chat with everyone, if at all possible. Next up is the formula sheet. So this is something that can be used throughout the entire course. It can be used for everything. It's got little formulas for a lot of the different shapes in the course. And honestly, that's the biggest thing that students might struggle with. And if you need help with even just knowing what these things mean, we can meet on Skype. H is height. R, I'll just quickly mention, is radius. B is base. And then L is length. You can see it here on this end here as well. It's not mentioned here, but D, oh yeah, it is mentioned there. So D is diameter all the way across the circle, and then radius is only halfway across. So you can print that off and you can use it for everything. And I've also created some help videos just because you may be taking a course that's online for the first time, even though this is the individualized hybrid version. You do have to access Moodle, and so if you're not used to scanning documents, I recommend downloading the app called Cam Scanner. It's a really great tool, and I made a little how-to video because I know that some students can struggle with that. So scanning your work in can be found there, and I'll show you what you need to scan in. And then sometimes you might try to submit something and it's too large because your camera takes such good pictures and it's at high resolution. So it might say your file is too large to hand in. If you need to compress it, I've also got a how to compress video. So watch these two videos. They're great. They're only like a couple minutes each. Next, ordering the curriculum. So that's the important thing. You need to get this book into your hands. So what's really great is that Lori has made purchasing this available with a PO number, which is awesome. So what you do is if you go to their website, so you can choose further information to be found here. If you go to their website, basically what they've stated is that they're willing to accept DL and homeschool purchasing order numbers. So your PO, everyone's going to have that. And they're registered with Heritage Christian Online School. Woohoo! So to place your order, you need to email info@bridgethegapmath.ca with your PO number, with the student's name, with the delivery address. Please make sure that's correct because that's where it's going to go, and a contact telephone number. I would probably put a home phone and a cell phone number if you have both. And then you can see that the book costs $52. but I think there's also like a $20 shipping fee. So I don't know. That seems like a lot, but when I purchased mine, I think that's what it cost. It was like $20. So you get $100 of funding for this course, so it's all covered. But I just want to let you know so you're not surprised with the shipping price. So I've made all the information here. You can hit the mail button, and then you can give them the information. If you've never had to use your PO number, this is just a student that I took and I shadowed out all the information. But at the very bottom of their version in NCOM, you can go and see the PO number. So you do need to log into NCOM to find out your PO number. And most of you guys are going to be pros and you guys are going to know all about this. But just in case you didn't, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew. So getting started, how does it work? She has, I'm going to just actually click on the table of contents. She's chunked the course into 4 separate units. So there's a unit on number, there's a unit on fractions, a unit, well, not just fractions, it's also decimals and percentages, a unit on shapes and geometry, and then a unit on times tables, exponents, and prime numbers. So what I've done is I've highlighted all the things that are required to be done. So in Unit 1, I found that there was a couple things that you don't really need to know. If you choose to do absolutely all of Unit 1, that's totally fine. Numbers of days in the months, if you already know those, you don't have to do that lesson. But the ones that I've highlighted, I think you really should do because they are awesome. And so it starts off like very basic and then slowly works towards more difficult content. The fraction, decimals, and percentages, you're going to do everything in that. There's just the 25 times tables. Yeah, you can do that one too. I don't know why it's not highlighted. In the unit shape and geometry, I want you to do everything. However, in Unit 4, because the times tables, I don't really feel like actually knowing all the times tables is super useful. You can take a look at, I believe they have, this is what I would take a look at. It's on page 205. So I would suggest looking at page 205 and looking at a times table, table. Is that a times table table? Just because it's just useful and you can see what the grid looks like. I think it's a couple places in the book. But just go through the grid and take a look at that. But other than the grid, I don't need you to do every single lesson on each times tables. I'm much more interested in you doing the square numbers, the square roots, as well as the cubed, because that's what you're going to see in Workplace Math 10 and 11 when you're looking at surface area and volume. You're going to be dealing with area, which is squared, and you're going to be dealing with volume, which is cubed. So it is really important that you do those lessons at the end. So now, if I go back to the course page, what you're going to find is that she's divided, I'm going to try to get this down a little bit. What she's divided everything into is an odd page on the right is where you do your lesson. So there's like a lesson, it teaches you something. And then on the second page is the test. And it's usually just a few questions and it's on a separate page. So you actually can't just like look at the page that you just did. You're supposed to try to remember, okay, on that last page, what did I learn? And there's a bunch of questions, okay? So this is where you try everything out and you do things. And there is an answer key at the very back to find out if you got the question right or wrong. So you're going to go through lesson on the right, test on the left, and you're going to go through a unit until you complete that. So how, and you're also going to mark it, by the way. So you mark it yourself. I don't need to mark that. I just need to see that you've done it. And then at the bottom, let me just go to a page. So at the bottom, this one's got 8 questions. So you can just put your mark, I got 6 out of 8, or I got 8 out of 8. maybe you really struggled with that chapter and you got 2 out of 8, it's good for me to know how well you did, because then I can help you if you need to, if you want some help. And if you aced it, that's great. Um, so what I do need you to do though is I need to scan in your test pages. So the one thing that I do need you to submit, and you can use Cam Scanner to do that, but in each unit, there might be 10, well, I think actually unit 4 has like 5 tests that you have to complete, but chapter or unit 2 might have like 20. I need you to scan in and take a picture of each of those tests and submit them to me so I can see how you're doing. And I quickly just input that in. It's a part of your mark. And then at the end, you have a unit challenge. So I'm going to scroll down. So in unit number 1 for numbers, you submit your tests here. So what you'll scan in, like I just said, everything from the left sides of the pages, so all of the even numbers. And then once you've submitted that, then I know, okay, guess what? You've completed Unit 1. Now you're ready for the Unit 1 challenge. And this is where the big part of your mark comes from. I've created a little challenge for you to attempt, and you can't complete it until your test submissions have been made and until you've completed your introductory Skype meeting. But once that's done, then you can try it and you hand it in here once you're done. So if you need any help with that, basically you print this off. And then when you're going to submit something, if you've never submitted something online, you click onto the submission box, you simply add submission, and then it's going to ask you to either drag and drop, or you can actually choose a file here. And then once you submit it, you hit save changes, boom, I get a notification, and I'll be looking in here to see your submissions. And I'll be marking things throughout the week. Depending on my availability, it'll be like 1 or 2 times per week as you go through, just so you're aware. All right, so that's pretty much it for this workbook, Bridge the Math Gap, Bridge the Gap Math. And you complete Unit 1, you complete Unit 2, you complete Unit 3, then you complete Unit 4. At the very, very, very end, there are 2 additional challenges I'm going to get you to do. And I'm still creating the resources for these, but Bridge the Gap Math is missing 2 things to be successful in Workplace Math 10 and Workplace Math 11. One of them is the coordinate plane. So you need to know X and Y, and it looks like you've maybe seen it, the good old graph. And so you need to be able to know how to plot points, and you need to be able to know where your X is and where your Y is. Hint, X, Y. And after that, algebra basics. She covers no algebra in her book, which that's okay. I'll cover it. You don't need to know crazy algebra, but you need to know some of the simple basics. In Unit 1, you learn all about number. So you learn about adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. And then what you're going to do in the algebra is you're going to be learning how to use adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing to find an unknown variable. So that's kind of cool. Once you have completed those, and like I said, those are still getting created, there's going to be a final challenge. So once you get to the end of the course, you send me an email, say, hey, Mr. Kuchma, I'm done, and you let me know. One thing I also want to just let you know about is that if you have an IEP in the course and you're in the SE department, you can please make note of that on the chapter challenges whenever you submit something, just so that I'm aware that there may be some adaptations I need to take into account when marking your work and when helping you through the course. I want to do my best as a teacher to assess fairly and to help you get through successfully. So the more information I know, the better. And my goal is to support you as best as I can. So that is it for today. I'm really excited to have you in the course. Please let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to meeting you on Skype soon so that I can get you started, so I can get to know you a little bit, ask you some questions about math, and ask some questions about your life and your likes and your dislikes. So best of luck in getting started, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care.